and then relaxing as you exhale. But just remember, guys, the more we breathe, the more we're going to do throughout the practice. So if you stop breathing, we actually stop moving energy, and this is where we create stagnation in the body. Yoga actually translates to union, and that's union between mind, body, and breath. We want to make sure we're working with these three aspects simultaneously at all times. And don't worry, it takes training. So every time you find your mind runs off with a thought or a concern, with love, patience, and gratitude, just bring your mind back. It's almost like a distracted child. It sees something shiny and it wants to run off. You don't shout at that child. You don't punish it. With love, kindness, you bring the child back until it's able to sit in awe with you. This is what it's all about. Bringing the monkey mind back so we are able to be in the present moment. Fully in through the nose, one more, fully energizing. And exhale. Completely let go. We're going to start with our spinal warm-ups now, and in Kundalini Yoga we use this to unlock the energy at the base of the spine. I won't go too much into it, but in your same comfortable seated position, we just want to start moving the torso round, so bring the chest forwards and then rounding the shoulders as you rotate back. It's really important that we keep the crown of the head up to the ceiling here. We want to make sure we're not flopping the head around. With your eyes closed, you're able to draw your awareness into the tension along the spine a bit better. And as you get used to the movements, start to breathe in as you open the chest and bring it forwards. And then exhaling as you hollow the shoulders and empty the chest. Deep and slow, controlled movements, removing all tension from the spine. And one more as the shoulders round back, start to rotate in the opposite direction. Eyes closed, attention drawn into the body. Really assessing all of the feelings along the spine. And with the next rotation, coming back to center, have a nice long straight back, shoulders up, back and down. Just going to drop the right ear to the shoulder and carry the head back over to the left. And then down and across the chest. Imagine you have a tiny little ball you're carrying all the way around, and we really want to be slow and controlled with these warm-ups now. We're clearing the channels that run from the base of the spine to the crown of the head, which is going to help us improve our nostril breathing. It's also going to activate our energy points and give us more balance. So we always start with these warm-ups. As the chin touches the chest, start to rotate in the opposite direction. Again, make sure the shoulders are up, back and down. The core is micro-engaged. You want to make sure the torso is still, so we're not flopping around. Slow control. And coming back to center, taking the fingertips parallel to the ground, taking the fingers on the shoulders, and start to make small circles to the front of the room. Gradually making your circles larger, really feeling the shoulders and the chest open with each rotation. Closing the eyes, drawing the awareness into the body. And if you feel an area that's particularly stiff, I want you to just focus your attention into that specific region. Start to direct some exhalations into this region, and you'll find that the muscles begin to relax. The next rotation, start to make your circles backwards, feeling the chest open even more. Opening the shoulders, opening the chest fully and deeply. Keeping the core engaged. And again, eyes closed, helping yourself assess every part of the body. It's like we begin to become masters of our own anatomy, because no one else is ever going to know your body better than yourself. But we need to take time to come back and learn our body, learn our mind. The next in-breath, reach up nice and tall. We're going to take hold of the left knee with the right hand, and we're going to come into an abdominal twist here. So with the inhale, I want you to imagine you're reaching up one bit more through the left hand. With the exhale, we're going to twist round to bring the heel of the left palm as close to the tailbone as possible. So we're going into this abdominal twist now, and with every inhale, draw the crown of the head up, pressing into the knee to bring the left shoulder more towards the back of the room, and taking the chin over the shoulder as you do so. And every time you exhale, I want you to feel the abdomen twist a little bit more towards the back. We're actually actively removing toxins from the system in this pose here. So take 5 to 10 deep breaths down into the belly, activating the liver. That's it. Keep breathing in, lengthening with every in-breath. It's like we want to create space in the body every time we inhale. Exhaling, deepening, drawing more into the stretch. And with the next in-breath, we can release and reach up nice and tall. We're going to take hold of the other knee now, doing the same thing, inhaling to lengthen, and exhale, twist round. Removing the toxins from the system, working with the science of the body. So breathe deeply, close your eyes, connecting with every pose. Remember that traditional yoga is all about strengthening the mind and making the body healthy and strong. It's not about nice poses, monkey gymnastics. It's about going inside. 2 more deep breaths. Keep feeling the breath go into the belly. We want to keep inflating this balloon. And the next in-breath, you can release and reach up nice and tall. Placing the left palm down on the ground, making sure the right seat bone stays drawn into the mat. We're going to start to reach over with the right hand. Start to bend down towards the elbow and closing the eyes, drawing the attention into the right lower side of the body now. Every exhalation, I want you to imagine you're sinking down a bit more. And if you're all the way down on your elbow with both seat bones in the mat, you can straighten the arm out a little bit more to help you go a little bit lower. But we really want to feel this connection of the seat bones into the ground, closing the eyes and allowing this side of the body to stretch. Every exhale takes you deeper. Take 5 to 10 deep breaths, stay connected. In through the nose and out through the mouth. And with the next in-breath, we're going to press back up nice and tall, reach up and placing the other hand down. Start to come to the other side. Remember to keep both seat bones on the ground, closing the eyes, attention into the left side of the body now. Using your exhales to take you deeper. And in yoga, we use a breathing technique called Ujjayi, also known as the Darth Vader breath. And it's literally, you sound like, but using this exhalation, it actually sends more oxygen back into the muscles. So play around, you're on your own in the room, breathe really loud and deeply, and just notice how your breath is able to take you deeper into these practices. Deep exhalation, sinking down. That's it, 2 more deep breaths. And inhaling, reaching back up, nice and tall. And you can take both hands down to the mat now. I'm gonna take the feet together in front. Nice butterfly stretches. Again, if this is sore for your knees, take your feet out in front. Remember guys, if at any point it's hurting your joints, this probably means that it's a little bit too much for you. So we go to a point that it feels safe and comfortable. So cupping your toes and just make sure the chest is open and out. We want this feeling of lengthening always, drawing the shoulders up, cupping the toes and bouncing the knees very lightly. Keeping the core engaged so we're not hunching over at the back. We're always keeping this lengthened spine. And you'll actually find, well, I was an accountant for 5 years, and within 2 to 3 months of doing yoga, I grew 1 inch. And that was just from stretching my back out, because I've been sat on an office chair for 5 years, compressing. So guys, any of you that are working in office jobs, I cannot express to you how important it is to do these spine lengthening exercises. cat-cow stretches, things like this, so important. And actually in yoga, they say we're only as old as our spine. So by keeping the back youthful, we're actually stimulating the brain, the vagus nerve that transports information up to the mind here. We also keep our body healthy and supple as well. Because the minute the back goes, the rest of the body starts to go. So every single day, this is so important. And this isn't monkey stretchy yoga, this is traditional breathing. So you can stay where you are if you feel there's a good stretch here, or to take it a little bit further, bring the chest down slightly. Again, we want to stay with this feeling of drawing the crown of the head forward, lengthening with every in-breath, and then exhaling. We hinge from the hips. We never want to be compressing and rounding, but we lengthen and then deepen. With your eyes closed, just really draw your attention into the groin here, into the knees. You may feel tension in the back. Remember, direct your breaths into these areas. Your exhalations deepen them. Whenever you find your biting point, you just relax there, concentrate. Out of the next in-breath, we can release the toes and slowly start to roll up through the back. You want to imagine each vertebra comes back on top of one each other like a dominoes effect. And as we come up, coming into our cat-cow now. So on the mat, really important when we come into any all-four position, we make sure the wrists directly beneath the shoulders and the knees directly beneath the hips. This ensures that my joints are correct, because over time, if we're out of balance like this, we're going to start to wear our joints and our muscles down. So really important, you always work with your own body alignment. So finding your alignment to your own body, with the inhale, drop the belly, lift the head and the tailbone. With the exhale, press the palm, press the ground away, and drop the head and the tailbone. And just remember, guys, this is one of the most important stretches in yoga. We should do this for 5 to 10 minutes every single day. So with the eyes closed, follow the breath from the base of the spine to the crown of the head. And exaggerate every movement. Move your hips from side to side if you feel you need to. Listen to your body. What does it need? Really pressing the ground away, drawing the shoulders up, and then letting the belly hang down. One more of these, really pressing the mat away. Then as you bring the toes together, just bring the bum back to the heels, forehead down to the mat. And reaching forward of the hands so the elbows are not touching the ground. So we're using this child's pose as an active stretch, and I want you to imagine you're reaching forward of your hands and pressing back with the tailbone. So we're feeling this stretch from the tip of the fingers to the base of the spine, forehead down on the ground. And feeling the belly expand deeply and fully. 5 to 10 deep breaths in this posture here. That's it. 2 more deep breaths, drawing all of this energy into the torso. Completely relaxing as you exhale. Over the next in-breath, just use your hands to start walking yourself back up so you're sat on your heels. But we're using this as a stretch as well, feeling every vertebra stuck on top of one another. Head and shoulders come up last, and as they do, just sit on the toes. We're going to release the muscles at the back of the feet here. Just know you can't overstretch these muscles, but it doesn't feel too comfortable. So if you want, you can untuck your toes, but just try to sit on them. From here, taking the wrists out, we're just going to make nice big circles, warming up the wrists, spread the fingers, and then also in the other direction. Taking both arms up above the head and pressing into the left elbow so the middle finger is running down the back. Again, just notice how I'm not arching at the lower back here. The core is still drawn in. Chin parallel to the ground. Also, we want to make sure we're not hunching over. We want to make sure the spine is always straight and the crown of the head drawn up. And with the next exhalation, you can release and switch sides. 5 to 10 deep breaths. And exhale, release, and just cross the left arm over the body, pressing onto the wrist here, and just feeling a nice stretch in the left shoulder joint. Exhale, release, and to the other side. And exhale, release. Pressing into the mat, just start to lift the hips up to the ceiling. But we want to keep a micro bend in the knees, so don't hyperextend the kneecaps here. And as you do, just take hold of each elbow. Allow your torso to swing over the legs. And just lightly pedal through one knee at a time here. Keeping the breathing deep, attention drawn into the back of the legs. And just allowing your head to sway from side to side. Gravity doing all of the work here for you. We're not forcing, still warming up. Nice light stretchy class today. And as you exhale, you can release the elbows, bend the knees, and we're slowly going to start to roll up through the spine. Remember, we want to stack each vertebra on top of one another, curling up. And then inhale, reach up. Sorry guys, you can't fully see me here. But reach up tall above the head, and as you do, we're going to take hold of the left wrist and pull it over to the right. And just really press out through the left hip, pulsing here. A few of these, and inhale back up, and switch sides. So we're going to take hold of the right wrist and put it over to the left. Bouncing through the right hip. And exhale, release, hands back up. We're going to come to the front of the mat. So we're not going to do our sun salutations today, guys, obviously because we're not going into a full vinyasa flow today, just stretching. It's going to take you through some nice leg stretches. So at the front of our mat, we're going to start with the hands at heart center. And with the inhale, reach up nice and tall. With the exhale, draw the energy back down to the earth, keeping the back nice and straight, hinging from the hips. If you can't touch the ground with your hands beside your feet, just straighten the legs and take hold of the back of the calves here. What I want you to do is we're going to take 5 to 10 deep breath stretches here. So with the inhale, we lengthen the crown forward, straighten the spine. With the exhale, we pull ourselves towards our legs a little bit. It's like we're pulsing with the stretch, but remember, we don't want to force. You just want to play around with your breath here. See how the exhales are able to take you lower. With the in-breath, you can come up and then go down. This is really good training to help circulation and flexibility. Keeping your breathing nice and deep wherever you are and focusing on the areas of tension in the body. And by drawing our awareness into these areas, each week you'll see how much quicker you're becoming flexible. And bending the knees so you can frame the feet. We're just going to step back with the left foot and drop the left knee now. Remember what I said about alignment, guys? Really important that we're protecting the joint in the knee here. So just make sure your knee is directly above your ankle. For a lot of people, it's easy to bring the foot back here or forwards there. But again, remember, you're going to cause damage in the joints eventually if you do it in this way. So you want to think of it as foundations on the building. We plant the foot and then we want a strong building coming up from here. If it's at an angle, it's going to fall down eventually. That's a nice way to think of it. So think of your foundations as solid all the way up to the knee. Nothing can move you here. And then just start to sink through the groin here. So you feel yourself sinking down at the groin. If you feel no stretch, you can slide the back leg back a little bit more. Make sure we never ever lose this 90-degree angle, this alignment here. It's so important. You can stay where you are if you feel a good stretch, or if you want to go a little bit deeper, tuck through the back toes now and come up into a high lunge. Gaze forwards and bouncing through the groin. Breathing deep. And as you drop the back knee now, we're going to shift the hips over the back leg. Again, notice how my hips stop over my knee, so we don't want to be going back again. And don't worry, the alignment will come with time. So hips directly above the knee and straightening this front leg. I'm just going to start to bend down over this front leg. Inhaling, bringing the chest forward. Exhaling, sinking down. Make sure we keep this right foot active as well. Toes want to be pointing up to the ceiling because it engages the muscles at the back of the leg. And if it feels uncomfortable, just take 5 to 10 deep breaths. And with the next in-breath, we're going to shift our weight back over the front foot. We're going to come down into pigeon pose from here. So pigeon pose, you want to draw the right heel back towards the groin and the knees going forward. It's almost like we're doing the splits here. It may be difficult for some, but just use your fingertips to lift your hips up. And you want to make sure, again, we're drawing the chest up and open with every in-breath. On your knees and see from a different angle. So my heel back towards my groin, knee forwards, and leg straight out behind. If you are someone that is really flexible in this pose, you're more than welcome to take hold of the back foot here and tuck it into the arm. Going into our mermaid pose. Or if not, just stay where you are here, and eventually, honestly, within a few weeks, you'll be able to get into mermaid pose, guys. Even if you want to bend the foot up, you can. Wherever you are, 5 to 10 deep breaths to get full benefits of the pose. And as you exhale, you can release the leg now and just bring both legs back. We'll come into child's pose for a moment. Take 5 deep breaths in child's pose. And the next in-breath, coming up into a tabletop. Double checking your alignment first, and I want you to spread your fingers nice and wide. And just double check when you bend your elbows, they come back towards us as opposed to out. If you find they're bending out, just imagine you're rotating your shoulders in slightly, and once they're there, keep them there. From here, just tuck the toes. And we're just gonna lift the knees just an inch off the ground. Once you lift the knees, start to press the mat away, so we're bringing the stomach back to the thighs. I want to feel this stretch from the wrists up to the hips, like a straight line. Then from there, you can just start to straighten your legs, coming into a downward facing dog, and just moving each heel simultaneously. Full body stretch in our downward facing dog. And just come back to a still. And to come back to the front of the mat, we're going to walk our toes really slowly towards the front of the mat, bending the knees as much as you need to meet the hands in a forward fold. In your forward fold, taking hold of the back of legs and taking your 5 to 10 breath stretches. So remember, lengthening with the in-breath and exhaling, coming down. Keeping the breathing nice and circular, nice and deep. So remember, if we hold a stretch without breathing, we're actually just creating more stagnant energy in the body. And with the next inhale, we can bend the knees and slowly start to rise up. As the head and shoulders come up, reaching tall above the head, palms together, and down to heart center. We're going to move on to the other side now, getting the stretches on the right side of the body. So same position, hands at heart center. Inhale, reach up. And exhale all the way down, forward fold. And in your forward forward fold now, you may notice you're a little bit more flexible than you were at the beginning of the class. With your eyes closed, take 3 deep breaths into the belly, and with your exhales, really just allow your torso to just melt over the legs. Let go of all tension. It's like you just melt down. Gravity takes the weight of all of your limbs. Bending the knees, and we're going to step back with the right foot this time, dropping the right knee. Remember, double checking our foundations, making sure our joint is protected in the front leg here. Feeling a nice stretch in the groin and bouncing through the hip. Make sure the gaze is forward, the chin parallel to the ground. You can stay here, or if you wish to take it a little bit deeper, tucking the back toe and sinking just a bit more through the groin now. Keeping the breathing deep, exhales directed into the groin region. And with the next exhale, we can drop the back knee and shifting the hips over the leg, straightening the left leg, toes pointing up to the ceiling, and just start to draw the chest forward with the in-breath and melt down over the leg with the exhale. Getting our body nice and subtle, ready for summer. And just remember that flexibility is so important and it helps our circulation. And this is important for any exercise we do as well. You'll find in other exercises we work on one area of the body, but unfortunately we start to create stagnant in other areas. With yoga, we're fully circulating the entire body. It's working with the science of anatomy. The next inhale, we can shift the weight over the front leg, and we're going to come down into our pigeon pose on this side. So bringing the left heel back towards the groin, with the right leg sliding out behind. You want to press into the tip of the fingers so we're keeping the chest up nice and tall. We always want this feeling of drawing the spine up, lengthening. And the same on the other side, if you're able to, you could try to take hold of the back of the feet. But remember guys, don't force. Wherever you are today is absolutely perfect. Your gaze forward, just keeping your breaths down into the belly, 5 to 10 deep breaths. That's it, 2 more breaths, feeling the stretch in the back leg. Stay focused with every posture. Exhale, dropping the back leg down now. And coming back into a child's pose once more. Two deep breaths here. And with the next inhale, start to walk yourselves up. Just gonna do something called a cow face pose, guys. So if any of you, I should have said before actually, if anyone has string or a prop, which I don't even have, I've got an example here. So I'll show you guys, really important, this stretch here. Cow pose, so we wanna sit on our heels. We make sure the big toes are not touching. They're just about an inch apart. We reach up with the left hand and taking hold with the right. If you don't have a tie or anything, just make sure that both of the hands are running along the spine here. And it's like we want to start walking the fingers towards each other until eventually our hands can hold behind the back. And you'll find that you're able to do this on one side better than the other, and that's absolutely fine, guys. Wherever you are, make sure we're not arching at the back. Keep the eyes closed, breathing nice and deep. Attention drawn into the arms here. And if you do have a tie or a string, if you don't today, that's fine. But next time, if you grab one, you can just start walking your fingers towards each other slightly, which is really going to give us good stretch in the shoulders. 2 more breaths here. And with the exhale, we can release. And switching sides. Coming over with the right hand and then taking hold of the left. As you can see, I'm able to do it on this side, guys. But on the other side, it's really difficult. So this is what I mean by respecting your limits, your boundaries, and knowing that your flexibility and your balance is going to vary from side to side and from day to day. Wherever you are on this particular day, exactly where you need to be. That's it. 2 more deep breaths. And with the next exhale, release the hands. So we are nearly coming up to 45 minutes, guys, but because I did get started a little bit later, we're going to go for about 10 more minutes. So if anyone needs to jump off, that's absolutely fine. Just coming into a final last stretches now. So with your feet together, out in front, just make sure the fleshy parts of your bum are pulled to the side so we're nice and grounded. And with the inhale, reach up. With the exhale, we start to hinge from the hips. Remember, we don't want to round at the back. The minute you start to feel your upper back rounds, just drop the hands. So we're keeping the shoulders up, the chest open and out. And then whenever you find your point, just close your eyes. Keep breathing, drawing the stomach towards the thighs with every in-breath. And spend about a minute here, so really keep your breathing deep. And this is such a powerful pose for lowering blood pressure, increasing blood flow, and it actually calms the nervous system down massively as well, so really connect. And guys, if you're ever feeling stress or anxiety, this pose is used a lot by people to help them calm down, especially in office blocks. Actually, you'll find that quite a lot of office people will use this pose to stress themselves, to get rid of stress after a long busy day. So forward fold is a very, very beneficial pose. Staying with this connection of the breath, the inhale lengthening, drawing more life into the body. The exhale sinking down, going deeper into your practice, letting go bit by bit. That's it. 5 to 10 more of these long, lengthening breaths. Really connect. Tune into your body. And with the next in-breath, you can start to roll up through the spine. And then we're going to come into a wide-legged forward fold as well. So taking the feet nice and wide now. And just take the hands on the floor in front of you. Oh, we've got someone joining in 5 minutes before the end. So sorry guys, with the hands on the floor just in front of you now, just closing the eyes. Remember, we want to still stay with this lengthening up through the chest with every in-breath. And closing your eyes really helps you connect with this feeling. And with the exhales, we're just really slowly going to walk our hands forward, but we're not going to overstretch or force here at all. We're just going to allow our exhales to walk us forward to a point that we can't go anymore. When you find that point, you just stop. Breathe deeply, concentrate on the movement. And in this way, you'll see that by connecting with your breath, we're actually able to go beyond our mind limitations. And that's what yoga is all about. It's about stepping into the mind to let go of external distractions. By quietening the mind, we're able to go deeper into these stretches, which suggests that the mind limits us at times. Whenever you feel you're not able to do something, stop, breathe. With your eyes closed, I want you to really connect with this feeling of drawing life into the body with every in-breath. In yoga, we call this prana, life force. It's something we take for granted, but without it, we have no life. So find joy in every in-breath you take. And with the exhale, feel freedom, unity, oneness. To everything around you, and no matter what differences are between people or anything in nature, There's one undeniable fact that the one thing we all have in common is we breathe. We're breathing deeply, fully. That's it. A few more breaths, just see how much further you can go. And deepen your breaths even a little bit more. Start to bring more energy into the body and extend your exhales. In-breath, we can start to roll ourselves slowly up. Never ever sudden movements through the spine, respecting every movement. Bring the feet together. We're just going to lay ourselves back down on the mat now. Use your hands to walk yourself down. We're going to come into a half wheel pose here. If you're unaware, please watch before we go up because it's important. You never turn your head when we're here. It's all about protecting the neck, the head. Do yoga in a traditional sense. So your feet on the ground about hip distance apart. I want you to just make sure you can touch the back of your heels with your fingertip. Head resting down on the mat. And with the inhale, we press into the mat and lift the hips up to the ceiling. Keeping the gaze straight up. And you can stay here if you feel this is a good enough stretch for you. And if you feel your knees are falling out to the sides, remember, we need that foundation. Stack the knees on the ankles. We're stronger in the body here. If you can, interlock the hands behind the back to squeeze the shoulders together and lift the chest just a little bit higher. Bring the chest towards the chin and pressing into the feet, lifting the hips higher. And this is a really good position to see the air going into the belly. So just looking at your stomach and witnessing oxygen travel into the lower parts of the diaphragm easily. Take hold of the arch of the back with the thumb here, if you wish. Release, press into the feet, don't drop the hips, lift the arms above the head. Lower down, we come up into the tiptoes and imagine you're drawing your tailbone towards the front of the room. Feeling each vertebra lay down on the ground, and as the tailbone touches, hug the knees into the chest. Just rock from side to side. And with your eyes closed, have a moment of gratitude, of self-love. Give yourself a nice hug. Remember, yoga is all about sending love, kindness, and gratitude back to ourselves. Because essentially it all starts with us. So in this moment, send some love and kindness to yourself. Give yourself a tight squeeze. And then engaging the cuddle even more, bring the forehead between the knees and squeeze your legs as tightly as you can. Engage every muscle in your body, closing the eyes. Squeeze yourself into a tiny little ball. Take a deep in-breath. With the exhale, just allow yourself to lay down on the mat. Eyes closed, your palms facing up and your toes flopped out to the sides. Just allow yourself to rest in Shavasana, the most important posture in all of yoga. Evenly distributing all of the work you've just done. Just keep your attention focused on the belly as it rises and falls with every in and out breath. And just relax for the next two musics to the sound of the music until I draw you out of your relaxation. But please make sure we do not skip this part. It's so important for the mind and the body. to this music. Your awareness drawn into your breath. Feeling energy and life with every in-breath. And exhaling, relaxing with every out-breath. As you slowly start to bring your awareness back into your physical body now, just start to wiggle your toes and your fingers. With your eyes closed, smile to yourself. Have a moment of gratitude, of joy. And feel excitement for your day. Even during rough times, just remember that every day on this planet is a gift. Life is a blessing. By coming back to the breath, we remember this. The joy we receive with every in-breath, bringing life, joy into the body. And the freedom that comes with letting go of anything that doesn't serve us on a mental or physical level. Any stress, anything related to negative emotions, you can just let them go with your exhalations. They hold no place in your heart or your mind. Free yourself. Just hug your knees into the chest now. And rolling over onto the left-hand side of the body, giving yourself a few deep breaths. Whenever you're ready, just come back up into a comfortable seated position now. With your eyes still closed, back nice and straight. And we're just going to finish today's class with 3 conscious breath reminders, guys, because as a breathwork specialist, it's so important. The way in which we breathe massively affects our lives. And for the majority of us, unfortunately, we breathe through the mouth and into the chest. And I want you all to remember today, the diaphragm is like a pump. And this is the pump that circulates to every part of the body. So to keep our body healthy and strong and to keep sending blood into the little finger or the little toe, we want to make sure we're using the lower parts of the diaphragm as well. This is like the pump. And when we start to use this full pump, we push toxins out the body. We keep the body energized, young and healthy. Actually, we've created a lot of illness, a lot of disease, and we age a lot quicker in the body because we don't breathe correctly. And I know that sounds so ridiculous, but trust me, at the age of 25, when I was learning this, I couldn't believe it's something that we haven't been taught. We breathe through default network mode. And unfortunately, this kind of keeps us half operational. We are so much more powerful than we've been led to believe in Western society, especially. These practices have been around in Eastern culture for thousands of years, guys, and they're only just starting to come back into the West now. So I cannot express how much deep breathing, work like this is so important for your mind, because society today is very disconnected. As much as we like to think we've evolved in humanity, it's clear to see we've sort of devolved in who we are as humans and our connection to nature. So by coming back to these things, we're going to start to rebirth knowing who we are, because a lot of people in Western culture, especially today, guys, seem a little bit lost, don't really know what they're doing, what we're here for, okay? So coming back to these practices, I know may sound crazy to some, but honestly, it gives us that essence of knowing why we're here. And it also makes us feel peace on an internal level, on an external level, and connection to everything around us as well. But on that note, we're going to finish today's class with 3 conscious breath reminders. Everybody take the left palm to the chest and right palm to the belly. And we're going to breathe in through the nose, out through the mouth. But remember, we want to breathe into the belly hand and then the chest hand, using the full diaphragm and exhaling through the mouth. On the count of 3 now. 1, 2, 3, fully in. And let go. Next one, fully in. Full energizing into the body. And let go. Last one, really draw the air into the belly, press the palm out. Hold the air here, feeling this energy circulating in the body. You may even feel lightheaded or a buzz in this moment because feel this energy, this life in the body. And with the exhale now, completely surrender, sink down and drop the chin to the chest. As you bow the head, bring the palms to heart center and finishing today's session. Thank you very much, everyone. I hope you were able to hear me okay through the microphone for this class. And yeah, anyone that has any questions, ever needs to ask, just drop me a message direct, guys. I'm here to support all of you. And that was a very stretchy class today. Thank you, Laura. I hope you got some good stretching in. There was no exercise in today's class, guys. So if you were expecting a fitness yoga class, definitely wasn't going to happen today. But if you want to jump on one of my Thursdays, they're quite intense. But yeah, I'm glad everyone had a good little stretch out there, guys. I hope to see you all at some point. I am doing a full hour session at Thursday, tomorrow night at 6:30, guys. Thank you, Emily. Bless you. Really nice to have you on all my sessions. I'm feeling your support, girl. I'm loving it. Thanks, Jane. And yeah, like I say, guys, it's totally weird to me to teach it through camera. I have to say, it's really lonely. I miss you all. So bear with my seriousness on camera because camera is not my forte at all. And if you keep these practices up every week, I promise you it's going to change your life. Ladies, it makes you younger. I mean, I have to keep saying it because everyone thinks I'm about 20, but I'm actually, like, I'm getting on now. And these exercises keep you young in mind and body, trust me. So on that note, unless anyone has any questions, guys, I'm going to leave you all. And yeah, remember, I'm doing a free breathwork session on Friday as well. Super recommend it to anyone. I have trained with Wim Hof and other gurus like this. Super beneficial. I've been meditating since I was 15, and honestly, Soma breathwork takes you next level. I was mind blown when I found it 5 years ago, which is why I now teach it. So yeah, hope to see you guys there. Take care, everyone.